No, that was good. Okay.
Yeah, we'll take,
So we'll do it again.
again?
Yeah, this is take two.
Just,
We can use the first one if we need to, but there were papery noises in it, so I wanna.
yeah,
I
well,
wanna see
just
if
stop
we
me
can-
then instead of, while I'm in the mindset, instead of doing it over. Okay.
So what are three things all first-time real estate investors need to know? You can blend the question and your answer.
Okay, so three things all real estate investors need to know in order to get started is, one, what the product is, what they intend to focusing on in their real estate investing. Two is what's their funding source, and how do they anticipate getting the funding. And three, what does that look like? What do the rehab costs cost? How do you figure that out? And then how do you know you're buying correctly? That's probably number one, the most important step. So when it comes to funding, just to have an idea and to open your mind, when you go to buy your own home, this funding runs about the same with investing. So you have an idea of your LTV, you'll be holding some sort of percentage rate, some interest points. When it comes to the product, where you'll have your sources that you want to find these items, whether it's online, with a real estate agent. So making a plan and kind of mapping out your plan and then trying to understand, gee, how do I know how much it'll cost to rehab the property, and how do I know that does need to be repaired? So one thing that I had utilized was I went to the local investment clubs. Every town and city has a local real estate investment club. You just look online and you Google it, and you'll find when they meet once a month. And through those investment clubs, they have a lot of teachers there. They do just like the nonprofits do with the learning. They do weekends where they take you around to properties and they'll show you how a particular investor figures out how to go ahead and see what price he should make or what offer price he would make on a particular investment property, because they will back out what the repair costs are and the cost of their financing and come up with a number, and that's the offer price. And then you have to know to walk away from that maybe it isn't a good investment. And these are some of the elements that make people feel a little scared about getting involved in the investment arena. But if you go and you say, I'm gonna spend 2 or 3 months learning this, hanging around some other investors, if you can read books and you can finish the books, I mean, that's great, and have as references. But really, these people are monthly doing it. They're looking for people that want to learn too. They love to mentor, and that's a great way to get started.
Awesome, that's good. So what do you feel like is the biggest mistake first-time real estate investors make?
The biggest mistake first-time real estate investors make is, one, they don't put the money in place, and two, they don't understand the cost of repair. With the money in place, they might lose the opportunity because, one, first of all, they didn't have the money that was required to get into the deal and they lose it. Or two, it was way more money than they anticipated. And now they either have to get the more money or they know that they're in a lost position. And also, if you don't understand what the mechanics are, and have that understanding of what the value is of different resources as far as repairs go, and what's involved with, say, ACP, and what vendors, and having some people lined up, it could get just very costly because they might know you're a novice and then they take advantage, and all sorts of things go on in that arena of real estate. You just want to make sure you're careful. So taking on something that feels very big or too much, I would suggest just getting your feet wet, taking on maybe a little something, a little condo, a small home without a lot of repairs, and then seeing how it goes from there.
Would you suggest a person become a real estate investor before buying their first home?
Before you get going on that, try to avoid making noises with your hands around
Wow.
the microphone, please.
It's just the mic, yeah, it's just the mic cord. But you can move your hands.
Oh, I
it's just
see,
not around the
You can do
mic.
I
whatever
see.
you want.
Yeah,
Yep.
you just can't hit the cord.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't touch the microphone's cord either.
If I was like, there's a lot of rules.
Yeah.
No, you're doing good though. Would you suggest people become a real estate investor before buying their first home?
Would I suggest people become a real estate investor before they're buying their first home? No, I would actually suggest you possibly buy your first home. Being in the industry a long time, I have 20 years in mortgage industry, working with investors, and I've seen people really change their wealth by buying their first home, understanding the process, understanding how the financing works, and buying a smaller first home, and then utilizing that property to move into another home and keeping that as a rental. And people can really start to access and level themselves up if they think in terms of that. And I've witnessed some people do that, and I myself had not started that way, and I said, gee, that was a great way to start. And because you have the mechanics, you get in the property, you know what you have to fix up, you see that you need blinds, you know that this was important, and then when you move into the next one, if you want it to be an investment property, you know what to anticipate, even if you decide to buy the investment property and stay where you are. But I think that if you can buy a first-time home that's kind of cost-effective, it can be a great rental moving forward, and then if you meet up with someone or you get married or have a partner, you can have another house, and now you have this investment property, and it's a great way to build wealth.
Awesome. Last question, unrelated to investment. What is one word to describe the Reach a Millions conference, and why did you choose that word?
Oh, it was terrific, because it was just mind-blowing in that day one was the Mindfulness Monday, and it truly was empowering to take the time to think about where we are, where you want to go. I think everyone comes to some roadblocks, and it felt like at the conference a lot of people felt that way, and it was very awakening that a lot of these speakers were able to just give us a whole diversified way of thinking about, you know, how to make moves, how to open up, and all the resources that are out there, which is what the whole conference then now on our Tuesday is bringing to us as far as wealth of information regarding that. And I really think we can take that and move forward and have some new, fresh ideas.
Excellent. And
Could you please just say the first sentence of that answer again, but say the Reaching Millions conference is awesome?
The Reaching Millions conference,
Oh,
I
yeah,
said terrific.
Whatever
You said
word.
it's terrific, and we just want you to state the whole.
Oh.
Yeah, the question.
So we have the sound bite.
I thought the Reaching Millions conference was terrific.
All right, sorry, I was talking over you in the beginning.
Oh.
Could you say it one more time, a second after I stop talking now?
I think that the Reaching Millions conference was terrific.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you, Barbara.
All right.
Okay, Angela's not back yet. So, do you want to do this?
I hope that was well.
No, that was
That was
good.
very
You
good.
did.